A suspended chord, often known as a sus chord, is one in which the major or minor third interval is replaced by a major second or perfect fourth interval. In this lesson, we will only discuss decoding the sus2 chord in caged shapes using the circle of fifths. The circle of fifths below illustrates the 7 notes and corresponding intervals of the C major scale. When the root, major second, and perfect fifth intervals of a sus2 chord are rearranged in the order of fifths, they are 1, 5, and 2. Let's plot these intervals on our quarter below in the same order within each of the 5 cage shapes. In the C shape, we begin with root 1 on the A string, then 5 on both E strings, and finally 2 on the B string. Starting from the other root in the C shape on the B string, we proceed down a fret to 5 on the G string, then 2 on the D string. Remember to compensate for the B string being tuned down a half step. A fifth from any note on the B string is 1 fret down on a lower string. We have just identified the sus2 intervals in the C shape across the 6 strings. The most popular sus2 chord in the C shape with 3 notes on the open strings is displayed below. Moving on, observe how we plot the sus2 intervals in the A shape in fifths. By omitting the 5 on the bottom E string, we obtain the typical sus2 bar chord in the A shape, which is basically a major bar chord with a third replaced by a major second interval. The fifth and second intervals in the 4-note voicings have been doubled in the examples below. Watch while we plot the intervals in the G shape. In the same way that 1 to 5 is a perfect fifth, 5 to 2 is also a perfect fifth. Follow along as we display the intervals of a sus2 chord in the E shape. Below are some examples of sus2 voicings in this shape. Finally, we get to plot the intervals in the D shape. The widely used sus2 voicing in the D shape is given below. Now, let's discuss a shortcut to derive sus2 chords in a major key using C major as an example. From right to left, the notes in C major in the first row of the table below are in fifths. We can create 5 sus2 chords by matching the 1-5-2 intervals of the sus2 chord with the notes in C major. Observe that each chord is color-coded. An F sus2 chord, for example, with notes F, C, and G corresponding to intervals 1, 5, and 2, is marked in red, C sus2 in green, G sus2 in blue, and so on. The goal is to derive sus2 chords from every available note in C major until we run out of notes. We can confidently infer that the E and B sus2 chords do not belong to C major because we do not have any notes left to plot them. An E sus2, for example, will contain the F sharp note which is not found in C major. To mentally compute the number of 3-note sus2 chords in a major key with 7 notes, subtract 3 from 7 and then add 1. 7 minus 3 equals 4, plus 1 equals 5. This means that there are 5 sus2 chords within every major key. Some examples of sus2 chords in note form are illustrated below. There you have it, decoding sus2 chords in cage shapes using the circle of fifths. Thanks for watching. If you find our tutorials useful, please like, share, and subscribe to our channel.